JPMandal. So again, we are another weekend, and today I have very special guest from uh, you see Cal State, Los Angeles, and he's monetary economics expert, labor economics expert, and one of the young generation educator in California state system. I really admire his publications, and so today we have a special guest, Dr. Niraj Koirala. Welcome to the show, Niraj.
Thank you, Zayda, for inviting me for this talk. Yeah, I'm very happy to talk to you about some of the concurrent issues that are happening around the world.
That's awesome. So let's talk about this is a new year, starting of a new year.
Yeah.
Many people are excited about 2024. So what is your first take on 24? Pessimistic or optimistic year as economy wise? What's your take?
Again, it depends, in which dimension we want to, explain, we want to answer your question. If you, focus on short to medium run, then due to Federal Reserve announcement that they will decrease interest rate in 2024. That is good news in short run, but in the long run, probably because of this trade fragmentation, development of different trading blocks, maybe things will not be as optimistic as in the short run.
All right. So okay. So you have so it depends upon which kind of topic we are talking about. So let's talk about maybe topic by topic.
Okay.
So what do you think about right now? 2024. Good news is inflation is saying it's coming down, and when you see there was in 2022 when it was almost 9.1% in
Yeah.
June of 2022. Now it is like 3.1 this year. Maybe still the maybe last 2 weeks its price is little going up, but still the inflation has come very fastly. What do you think reason behind this one? Inflation came down, and that's going to help the U.S. economy.
Zeda, you got phrased. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. My question is, so right now 2024 is beginning last two weeks. You see, inflation has come down than
Yeah.
2022. So is it a good sign for overall U.S. economy in 2024?
Yeah, going down inflation and uh, the value of inflation within the limit, they say it is 2%, is of course optimum, right? It is not, I'm not saying good or bad because uh, as an academician, it's every value of inflation has its own merits and demerits. But going inflation down would of course, provide some sort of relief to customers, okay, consumers. But the problem is that the price is already high. So, in short run, maybe, going down inflation may not be that much good thing, that much, may not provide that much relief to consumers. So what I'm saying is that price is already high, but price is increasing slowly. Since price is already high, decreasing slowly may not have positive impact in short run. Maybe after, 1 quarter or 2 quarter or 3 quarter or 4 quarter, we will have some sort of, you know, positive outcomes in consumer level. But, uh, you know, the consumer confidence that was lost due to high inflation in last year, maybe it will take some time to get recovered.
Right. So if right now, just say if I go to the grocery store, I feel that
Yeah.
it's still very pinch. That $100 grocery you can only buy a few things.
Yeah.
So it's still it is numbers are coming down, but I feel that it's still I have that impact of the high price that what
Yeah.
you are explaining.
Yeah.
So another point is right now if I go to the gas,
Yeah.
filling my tank, the gas
Yeah.
price has come down. So what do you say about the gas price coming down? Is what economics work there that gas price in recently 3 4 months come down than the summer? What happened? Is it more oversupply, or what's your take on that one?
Compared to, last couple of months, price has gone down. But if you observe the value of price over, a couple of weeks, the price is going up again. I think it is related to, some sort of unrest in Middle East.
Right.
This, some sort of conflict with Houthi and Israel-Palestine war, and we do have, lack of supply. Although, sorry, although they are still selling oil, we do not have, you know, Russian oil in mainstream market, right? Uh,
Right.
so, uh, so the supply of oil is still tight legally, or they say it is according to international so many things, but uh, you know, so. Uh, uh, again, this oil price thing, it is a matter of season. Sometimes it season also affects. If you go over uh, time series of oil price, then starting from summer to August, generally it tends to go up, and then it goes down, and then again it increases. So there is a seasonal pattern, and in that seasonal pattern, we do have some sort of political dimension and international things like how the relationship between Iran or Saudi, or between Iran or Israel, or whether there is safe passage of goods and commodities from Red Sea. Those things also matter. So one of the reason why oil price was going up previously was because of this sanction on Russia, and it was going down. For last 1 or 2 months, it started going down because of loosening of supply. Now again, because of Middle East, instability, there will be some sort of uh, supply tightness. So price would be increasing in short run.
Awesome, awesome. So let's touch the next topic. Is right now very much everybody wants to hear the good news from the Fed,
Yeah.
and Fed is like we heard the Jerome Powell saying that he's going to pause. Maybe nobody knows, but for sure, but like maybe they are expecting 2 or 3 cuts in 2024. So what do you think, is that a positive move for the US economy, and for middle class Americans, they should feel optimistic about that? What's your take on the Fed move towards the economy?
Yeah, theoretically, according to the macroeconomic models or theories, we study that decreasing interest rate would be stimulating the economy.
Right,
It would help, output to grow. People would be more confident, so they would spend more. And if you are a borrower, when Federal Reserve rate goes down, market rate will go down. So, people would be more borrowing more to compensate their compensation, sorry, consumption or investment. So theoretically, it is positive thing. But another problem is that we don't know how or when the decrease in interest rate takes. How long the decrease in interest rate takes to affect the real economy. So as I said, consumer would be confident when interest rate goes down, right? Or investors would be confident when interest rate goes down. But there is some sort of time lag between, Federal Reserve announcement and then, uh, you know, the actual decrease in market rate. So
right.
the time difference, if it is going to be higher, then consumers would be frustrated. So there might not be, uh, any positive change for 1 or 2 months. And another aspect we study in macroeconomics is that, whether they see the move of Federal Reserve is permanent or temporary. Uh, for instance, uh, for me, what I think is that if Federal Reserve is going to decrease interest rate in 2024, I think it will be a temporary measure, not a permanent measure. So if consumers expect that type of temporary measure, then probably that interest rate cut will not be enough to stimulate the economy as we expect.
Oh, that's a very good point. Okay.
Yeah,
So again, this brings me to the next, affecting topic is right
yeah,
now, stock market is still thriving.
yeah,
I just heard yesterday like all this. So
yeah.
is that stock market is thriving? That means again maybe rate of inflation might go up. Everything will be start like just say for example, a lot of people are waiting for the interest rate to go down so they can buy a house. So even especially I'm in the housing real estate industry. So you think going a stock market going up, other pricing is coming down, that will increase the housing price. What do you take on the real estate market?
Again, based on data and based on macroeconomic theory, we believe that if interest rate goes down, then that will, increase the price for sure, because there will be a lot of competition between buyers, right? So
Right.
if there is high demand, for sure there is, price is bound to increase. But I don't know how much the price would go up.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah,
so so that's the trend. Okay.
yeah,
So right now you see the a lot of many companies are start kind of not hiring as a pace. Some companies are laying off. You see the 2024 the statement start coming, and a lot of companies are announcing their cut this and that.
yeah.
So what do you think about unemployment rate is going to be under 3.7% or is going to up? How is going to narrate to the economy in 2024?
So in terms of laying, probably, it is more related with the demand of individual products the companies are producing. Uh,
Okay.
uh, but in macroeconomic level, uh, what I believe, and the literatures and these newspapers they are saying is that uh, the loss of confidence due to COVID-19 is still not restored in many parts of the world. So that uh, you know, as a result, many people across the world they do not have money to spend. So if the people do not have money to spend, of course, that will dent the demand of consumer products produced by many companies. So laying off is a natural process. Okay, but
Right.
we do have another aspect to look, uh, laying off by those certain companies, because this economy is a dynamic process, right? At any point of time, many thousand jobs are being created and many jobs are being destroyed. So it could be that uh, you know uh, if a company is laying off 10,000 workers, it could be that other company is providing jobs to 20,000 people. So overall, the economy is going through a structural change because of artificial intelligence. So, uh, you know, if we depend the number given by only one company, we might, uh, you know, uh, reach in a faulty decision.
Oh, okay. That's very
So,
good point. So
so
you,
overall, we need to see how the overall unemployment rate is faring over time. Since the unemployment rate is not going up significantly, I think overall, we are in positive trajectory in terms of on unemployment.
that's a good point you mentioned. So for example, unemployed. Just say, in terms of a global 2024 global
Yeah.
GDP growth outlook, World Bank is saying that it has reduced from like previously 3.6%. What do you think, like, especially global, we connect to back home, Nepal and other countries, other people, my viewers are other, like they have connection worldwide. So what do you have any take on like global growth in 2024 or decline? What's your outlook,
The
approach?
outlook, the report was within my expectation. Especially, there are four big players in the world. One is US, another is European Union, another is China, another is Russia, right? Russia is not that much important economically, but they still hold some sort of, because of, that place. So, how the interrelationship between these, players evolve, that
Yeah,
determines many things in international finance. Okay. So, as the US economy and Chinese economy, they are diverging, that I'm afraid will result into bifurcation of the global economy. So there would
right.
be, one trading bloc allied to US, another trading bloc, related to China. So when that happens, then, you know, availability of goods and services would be going down, but the price of goods and service would go up. So, uh, so global growth is bound to decrease. And in near term, we do have, uh, events like Israel-Palestine war. Whole Middle East is on the verge of instability. The Middle East is very important commercially because it provides oil to, which is important
Economic,
for production process.
right.
And we don't know what will happen in East Asia, especially in regards to Taiwan, Philippines, Japan, China. So instability in that region will also play an important role. Uh, Suppose even if there is not hot war in East Asia, the confidence of investors in many small countries would go down because the regional economic outlook is not good because of political instability or the possibility of war. So investment will crowd out from those countries. As a result, uh, economic growth in those countries would go down. So, if you combine East Asian conditions, Middle East conditions, European conditions, then of course global growth would go down. That is within my expectation, and I think World Bank correctly, analyzed that thing. Of course, they do have better expert than me, but
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
I do not expect global growth to increase significantly. Uh, to be serious, I think this decade and the next decade would have a lower growth rate. Uh, I think global growth would be going down further from 2.5 to 2% in upcoming years.
Wow. So right now, like another emerging economy like India or Indonesia or even China,
Yeah,
they have to grow their growth. They are encouraging the consumption, like
yeah.
even their internal population consumption. They wanna become like a USA consumer economy. You think for small countries, let's say especially for Nepal, हामी नेपालबाट हौ नेपालमा पनि अहिले धेरै मान्छे जनताहरू स्पेसली यङ workforce they are going out of country. Every day 500 to 1,000 people going out. So for those emerging economies, if they convert their economy in a consumer based economy, is it another good strategy? You think for increasing uh, their economy in the particular country's level to especially creating the job?
So consumption is good, but if there is a real source of income within the country, so I don't think for a country like Nepal, consumption is only a way to stimulate the economy. Because for propelling consumption, if you do not have enough domestic industries, you have to buy those goods from international market, right? So
Yeah.
you would be losing a lot of money, and then your capital account would be in deficit. So focusing on consumption only is not a good idea. US emphasized on consumption-oriented economy because at that time they were the largest manufacturer of the world. So, consuming everything you produce was a good idea. But that thing is not
Change.
in a real anymore. So the Biden administration now, in every political campaign or rally, he says that we need to build back in America, that type of thing, because consumption needs to be backed by your real production. If a country does not have production capacity, then focusing only on consumption may not be sustainable in the long run.
Right. So, sometimes I analyze like Nepal, like mini America, because
Yeah,
America right now, you see the most of the manufacturing job are gone.
yeah,
We import everything. What happens anywhere in the like in Mediterranean Sea or like Red Sea that affects our supply chain, and that the price goes up. So especially if you see Nepal, most of the things are now they're importing. Population growth has gone up. Before we were surplus in so many agri products like rice and other things, but now we're importing. So, for example, to increase the GDP growth of Nepal, do you have any formula to Nepali lawmakers or maybe economists? So, what do you think about like just you are in a kind of bird view.
yeah,
You are teaching here in
yeah.
one of the best economy in the world. What do you think Nepal can how Nepal can become a growth oriented economy?
So there are a couple things I think we need to do. The first thing is that, again, it is a matter of politics, not economics. If politics is fine, then economic can, develop autonomously within after some time. So the first thing is that, uh, you know, we need to spend a lot of money in research and development. And for realizing the benefits of investment in research and development, our institutions needs to be strong. So as of now, our institutions are not strong. We do not have strong checks and balance. So okay, so the politics is based on whim. So it becomes really difficult for international investors to invest in those areas where policies are made on whim, not based on long-term interest. So again, everything, the gist of everything is, these things is based on how well we or how serious we become regarding honoring the constitution we made ourselves.
So you mean like say for example for in terms of Nepal,
Yeah,
let's say recently like we are very rich in hydropower resources,
yeah,
but like our production is very low.
yeah,
Our capacity is really very high,
yeah,
and it is between two big countries, two
yeah,
growing like a growing economy. China is
yeah,
one side, on the other side is
yeah,
India. So the potential for Nepal is very optimistic because I feel like, let's say for example, recently India government signed a contract with the Nepal government to buy 10,000 megawatt,
yeah,
where Nepal production is only 3,000 megawatt, and it
yeah,
has a potential to produce maybe 80,000 megawatt.
yeah.
You think like, let's say if Nepal gets the money from the selling electricity, just like Middle East gets the money from the oil. With that selling the electricity, hydropower, that income can impact the Nepal economy. You can diverse it, just like what the Middle East is doing. Can you treat like a hydropower money as like oil money, that what is Middle East is doing,
Yeah,
or there is.
of course, that hydropower has a lot of potentiality, right? We have been um, said so many times that hydropower tourism is two of the best sources to develop Nepal rapidly. So if that thing is realized, of course, Nepal has strong potentiality to grow rapidly. But again, like everything, it is a matter of, whether the agreement would be honored or not, or whether we can produce 10,000 megawatt or not. There is, equally some sort of fear among, investors from different side that, uh, you know, that agreement will monopolize, uh, you know, some country in hydropower sector of Nepal. As a result, investors from other countries who were willing to invest in Nepal hydropower would be crowded out. So there are so many, aspects as well. But if you want me to answer yes or no, of course, Nepal has potentiality. If the agreement is realized, Nepal can be, developed faster, and that will open a door to other projects. But again,
Right,
it is a matter of whether we can produce,
that much electricity, there is
yeah,
a
that
limit.
much electricity. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, what is your take on just say creating a job within Nepal? Uh, because right now I see majority of people are going out of country. I mean,
Yeah.
like you came, I came. There are so many now. Even the low tech people are coming. Labor people are coming out. Before we came to study to learn, technology and other skills. But right now, I see majority of everybody goal is to go out because there's no opportunity. So, do you have any like your vision of how Nepal can create a job in the current circumstances?
That's a, tough question, right?
Yeah,
But you know, I would answer in this way. So since you asked me how, so it is going to be more broad and those things. The first thing, we need to invest in those industries where we do have, comparative advantage. So, since this is the age of, software, we can invest money in creating, uh, you know, uh, you know, engineering techniques that, you know, might be in high demand for upcoming years. So, so for that, we need to make we need to prioritize a sector. It could be software, it could be hydropower, or it could be anything. But once we prioritize a sector, we need to invest at least, 10% of GDP for at least 10 years.
I see.
And then, make sure that in that sector, you do not have party politics. You do not have student, union. You do not have workers union. You don't have any union for at least 10 years. But make sure that you do have strong monitoring or evaluation system within that. So one of the, everybody says, China, 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 right? Everybody says that China got developed within 30 years. So we need to understand, how they develop, rapidly. First, they found out what were their weakness, what were their strong point. So once they found out that manufacturing was their strong point, they invested tons of money in manufacturing. They sent students to US, to UK, and other Western European countries to study, engineering related to manufacturing. And they did, agreement with government. They would send people And then after the conclusion of a study, some of the students would go back to China to help China's economy. We can, work with a foreign, government where, they would, Nepalese students would be learning about, art of the state of the art skills in manufacturing or, computer science or software. Uh, and then at the end of their study, they would be required to, return to Nepal to help Nepalese government to, develop the sector of concern. So that is one way. And, no matter what we do externally, the most important thing is our domestic policy and domestic environment. If we are not stable, if we do not, you know, uh, have, if we do not have, if we cannot implement the law and the regulation without being biased, then, I must say, sorry, it is very difficult to develop a country like Nepal.
Right, especially the even the foreign investment,
Yeah,
direct investment will not come. Just say for
yeah.
people come for they
Return.
invest, right, a
Yeah,
return of
yeah,
the investment.
yeah,
So it's I know when you see the country like mountainous country like
yeah,
Nepal, you see the very developed version in Europe is Switzerland,
yeah,
or a lot of politicians have vision to convert Nepal into like
yeah,
uh, Singapore,
yeah,
where you have they have like very tourist friendly, and they have investment friendly. They have a lot of trade centers. Right now, you see kind of becoming like financial hub. So for in terms of Nepal, right now most of the capital, the remittance coming from the most of the global NRNs. So do you think NRN economy can be formalized in such a way that it can help Nepal? Because you see, they say even you and me, or like there's a hundreds of thousands of Nepali, even if you can visit Nepal, they can invest even in their village or their town municipality. There will be a small job creation. And even in the US, you see there is a small business has created so many jobs. So instead of having like even this kind of investor-friendly policies, rules, regulation, security, non-unionized. So this kind of small business job creation could be very good in a way. Nepal government can invite and attract, especially for those NRNs, to do something. Do you
yeah.
have any suggestion on that area?
Uh, yeah, they can work with NRN or to uh, formulate some projects where NRN can provide techniques and investment, uh, so that Nepalese people can generate employment. For that, I think Nepal can learn the lesson from South Korea as well. 60 years, 70 years ago, the country of South Korea was in the same situation as Nepal is today. A lot of South Koreans, they went outside and then they sent money back, and in the process they formed a strong diaspora, and then that diaspora community worked with South Korean government to set up a priority industry, and both Korean diaspora and Korean government, they would invest together, in starting from a small business, and nowadays they do have industries like Samsung. If you go over
Right,
the history of Samsung, it is started from as a family business, right?
right,
So
right, right.
everything starts with as a diaspora or as a government, if they can come up with an idea, it could be in the form of subsidy, it could be in the form of monetary incentive, or it could be in the form of tax rebate,
Right,
uh,
exactly.
to a small business. then the business community would, I think, highly appreciate, and then they would have enough capital to innovate in their what they are doing.
So for example, also like inviting, creating a good, monetary,
Yeah,
system. Let's say, for example, some of the countries are inviting their open the bank. So
yeah,
once you have bank, Nepal has very educated, so they can work in the bank. That can create jobs. So another
yeah,
sector could be like casino. You see, in America, there's Las Vegas is right
yeah,
here, and there is that creates so much job, and that interact like side effect of economy is huge. So when you have a very difficult logistic mountainous countries, maybe service sector, just like outsourcing of like creating a
yeah,
giving a tax intensive incentive of 10 years of creating a, you just say, call center in Nepal,
yeah,
outsourcing.
yeah,
Or you can, like just say somebody is even in the banking. I mean, there is so many other, even the low cost manufacturing.
yeah,
You can manufacture here and then you can, sell other places. So there are so
yeah,
many other ways you can create the
yeah.
job. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we are at the end of our conversation today, especially the theme is 2024. So how do you think, especially I think the middle class sector in America is shrinking,
Yeah.
and most of the government, in the American dream for the middle class is getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
So do you have, what do you think is a part of a natural phenomenon? Is the middle class going to shrink as there will be big uh, gap between rich and poor in coming years?
Uh, the US economy has become, highly financialized. So if, finance sector, it keeps on increasing without, manufacturing, perhaps this inequality would keep on going because, this manufacturing is born, okay? And this finance or other sector, they are meat.
Oh, I see.
So the meat always needs to be supported by bone.
Right,
So how strong your body is not determined by meat, right? It is determined by bone.
right. Your structure.
Yeah, your structure. So as a country, US needs to focus more on manufacturing. I'm not saying manufacturing by means, we have to go to 1960s or 70s to start, polluted plants. But, we can give emphasis on, you know, manufacturing technologies that matter most for, upcoming century. Like, one example, uh, maybe 10 or 20 years ago, talking about hybrid or electric vehicle was not, those technology were not
I
uh,
mean,
that much popular, right?
right. People were just like,
Yeah, they were just, talking in policy level,
right,
right? And in Shenzhen, they started plant in the form of BYD. They
right.
invested so much in, future tech, battery technology that, almost 86% of, battery technology in EV now is controlled by China.
Exactly.
So, you have to see where wind is, going, and then you have to, follow that. It is the same for, big country like US, and this, following the wind is very important for a small country like Nepal.
So that's very good point you brought.
Yeah,
So, but like, manufacturing here, especially in both like, very small country like Nepal and
yeah,
very big country like US,
yeah,
it says that like if you manufacture here, because your labor cost is high, all
yeah,
other your other energy costs, other costs are very high,
yeah,
and you have a lot of rules, so your manufacturing costs go up.
yeah,
And once manufacturing goes up, then your consumer is paying more. So that's
yeah,
going to, so that is a counter argument over there. So not creating a manufacturing job. Here also in US, also in Nepal, you say, okay, if you create a factory, then
yeah,
the other market, because it's a market economy, people will sell cheaper, or if you don't have right policy, you cannot sustain.
Yeah.
Do you think is that um, serious issue before creating manufacturing? You need to create like a really equal playing platform or good policies.
Yeah, that is a serious concern. And you know some economists, they use this argument to uh, you know uh, to argue that we should not be focusing on manufacturing. But if you go over the data, there is a paper by Valerie Rami, I think from UC San Diego. She says, calculated markup, which is the power of these companies in
Yeah.
influencing the price of the product. In the case of US, it is steadily increasing over years. So that means, companies are being more proactive in setting the price. That means their margin is getting higher and higher. Since their margin is higher, the cost is bound to increase. So, the government can, you know, uh, in another word, this market is becoming, unregulated sometimes. So the government needs to regulate so that, the pricing or cost comes down.
Oh, I see. So you are saying like you have to have capitalism with the kind of
So,
yes,
yeah, that
yes,
type of,
kind of friendly to the middle class, and
yeah, middle class.
yeah, yeah. So but like some of those people don't want regulation. They want to monopoly. They want to increase the price. They want to maximize the profit. So
Yeah,
that's
it is a matter of school of thought of economics. I studied, this Keynesian economics. They study, the government, I think the Austrian economic school of thought, where they don't argue, the government intervention. So again, it is a matter of, school of thought where we belong to.
all right. Excellent. So again, at the last, summarize this today's conversation.
Yeah.
So overall, your 2024 is going to be a really good year, or maybe okay year, or you'll be kind of, you don't know. What's your final thought on the
Uh,
2020?
yeah, that's a good question. It depends, who are we? That's good for you.
Right.
If you are, a teacher or thinker or philosopher, 2024 would be good for in short run, but in the long run, maybe, we would have slower growth as the World Bank outlook, expects. So I'm not saying things would be, sky will fall down. I'm not saying that, but the phase, where we had from 2000 to 2020, maybe, we will not have that type of, good or, expect or, confidence.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you again for
Yeah,
coming to
thank you.
the mic show for the short notice, and we always I would like to again connect you in the future for your your take about the economy and middle class. So my show JPMandal show is about educating the middle class people, about the finance, about the education, real estate, to get like make better decision. And
Okay.
thank you again for coming to the
Yeah, thank you, Zayda, for inviting me for this talk. I enjoyed talking to you.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.